really what I wanted to talk, just a couple of house cleaning things. Really, I didn't have anything real specific, and I was going to kind of open up the floor for you guys to bring up some things that you're dealing with. But we are rapidly approaching October 7th, which is EMV Day.
Wow.
Right? It's sad to think that's right around the corner. I know Chad got pretty belligerent today when he found out that summer's almost over. So I know he was kind of upset about that. But in Minnesota, we only get 38 days of summer, so it's kind of weird. But so a couple things with that. Number one is really you need to put the full court press on as far as contacting if you've been doing this a while, contacting your current merchants and go, look, you need to get the new equipment. You need to be EMV ready. Otherwise, you're going to start assuming a liability on if any fraud were to transpire. So make sure you hit up your portfolio and whoever's out there. Whomever you're working with, your prospective merchants, get after them. Now's the time to make the change. Files will start being built. What do we anticipate, Amy, at the next couple of weeks? We'll start being able to build files for the EMV terminals that are out there?
Absolutely. For sure by the 1st of the month.
Yeah, by the 1st of September. So, we're going to do little mini downloads on those EMV terminals that you guys have placed already, or those merchants that have them. So let's definitely make sure that you don't want your merchants hanging out there. You don't want the liability for them. So use that definitely as a tool. So, and anything that you have to add to that, Amy, or Chad? I know you were talking about it this morning. No?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
My name is Emilio here in Cold Spring. Can we talk more about the EMV for the files? There's the merchant that already have the VX5, VX520, also packs, or if there's any other terminal that are going to be compliant. If they already have them, can you explain, are we going to have to do full download? Is some of them going to be partial download? Can you explain the process, please, if you guys know?
I can. This is Amy Emilio. I'm anticipating it'll be a partial for the existing 520s. Right now, we can already do. So if you have merchants with those 520s, what I would recommend is have them call into our office here, and we'll get them connected so that we can get it. I think it's just going to be a partial download. I can't anticipate it'll be a full.
How long will it take?
So 10 to 15 minutes
Okay.
before or after the business day.
Are you aware there's 2 downloads that need to be done?
Am I aware? I'm sorry?
There's 2 downloads that need to be done.
We would have to connect with tech support to get that taken care of, but we can help them for sure.
Okay, but I understand that for people like me that basically taking care of my own customers, I mean, for some of us, do you know the process, please?
I do not. Please, like I said, we'll connect and find out. The process is going to be the same as any other download is going to be. It's just going to be obviously quicker, so like a partial download. The exact same process as we always do, though.
Can I chime in?
Say again?
Can I chime in for a second on that?
Sure.
Okay. The 520s this is Beverly, the 520s that I've done so far, if the OS operating system is not the .245, then it has to be updated. The OS system has to be updated first.
Which is
and
correct.
Then,
to download.
Right. It has to be updated first, and then you can do the download. Otherwise, if you're using a contactless reader on there, it won't work.
Okay. Thank you. Again, over the next couple of weeks, and for by the 1st of the month, I'm anticipating we're going to get overwhelmed knowledge from First Data on exactly what and where and how long and partials or fulls for each terminal. So just stick with us and get those merchants, just be talking about it, sending them our way. We'll get them connected the best, taking care of them as quickly as we can.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
Clear on that? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
it does.
So, all right. Just want to make
Just got to get to that point.
Anyway, if I can share one more thing with the EMV,
sure.
and if you guys want to it's basically going to be a mess. I have a merchant that called me this morning that have the VX520, and he claimed that when he swapped the card, the system asked to use the card as chip and pin. And when he inserted the card into the slot, he asked him for a PIN, but the card was not a debit card. The card was a credit card. So,
Did it
well,
have a
Emilio,
chip in it?
that's all on the issuer side of it. So that has nothing to do with how we program the terminal. If the card is requiring it, then that's what they would have to do. So that's nothing that you can do on programming. It's completely what the issuer of the card is telling the card.
No, I totally understand that, but we need to be able to tell. We need to be able to tell the merchant that what needs to do. As far as the merchant is concerned, is the machine that's not working. That's no problem. But we need to be able to let the merchant know that obviously that the cardholder gonna have to call the issuer bank to see if the card has a PIN debit attached with it. But these two particular merchants, they basically couldn't do the transaction because the cardholder claimed is a credit card, the system requesting a PIN.
Just an FYI.
Anything else you want to speak to that, Chad?
No, I think, I mean, as far as with the issuers, just about everything we've heard coming out of First Data has led us to believe the U.S. issuers, just about all of them are issuing them as chip and signature. You know, and it could have been that it's a Canadian card where they tend to do more of the PIN numbers. But then the cardholder should have been aware of that. I know every time I've set up my own credit cards or authorized them to start running where you call in, they ask you if you want to update your PIN number, if you want to add a PIN number in. So the cardholder should have that information on them. And if it's something they haven't been using a PIN number, they should be calling their bank to find out what it is or that. And that should be the only thing you have to, you know, let your merchants be aware of. If it's asking for a PIN number, it's the customer's responsibility to know it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Good. You know, the anytime there's, I mean, obviously, you know, every merchant in the country is dealing with this EMB. I mean, that's just the nature of this industry. And this is the first time, I don't know, John, if you've ever experienced, this is the first time in my 20-something years of doing this that every terminal was becoming end of life. So I mean, that's the biggest thing that I've seen happen in the 23 years that or 21 years I've been doing this deal. So
yeah, this is the biggest thing I've ever seen too. Which is in any kind of time that's changed, there's opportunity. So you've got 7 million merchants in the country that are confused. And they wish that somebody would show up and give them a little clarity. And we can give them as much clarity, you know, just by showing up and being there, and you know, that's helpful. Obviously, there's some things we don't know because we don't know, and it's a different process. But I guess I'm merging into other merchants out there that are processing with somebody else who I think I know that we're more attentive to our clients than most companies. I know we are. So there's millions of merchants out there that aren't getting the attention, and people aren't asking these questions and aren't helping out merchants. You might want to just touch base with what are the numbers? There's something like I don't know what the most recent numbers are, but it was only a couple of months ago that it was still something like 70% of all the merchants in the country weren't EMV compatible. And man, that's a lot of merchants that wonder about it, that don't have it, that might be. I mean, what is that? 70%, even if it's 50%, there's still 3.5 million merchants. You know, that's what 70,000 merchants per average state. I think that math is about right. That could be approached, and when you show up and you actually, you know, go through this like a consultant, and asking questions like that, the merchant account order form, the tune-up sheet, and they give them an opportunity to ask about EMV, and you can help them have the right thing. That in this big transition that Chuck was talking about, the biggest thing in 23 years, and it is. It's and it's about time that America the U.S. got up to speed on this kind of stuff, since it's. I don't know how many millions and millions of lost card numbers and fraud that it has taken, but thankfully we're getting up to speed, and so it's going to be a better thing for all of us, and it gives us huge opportunity to talk to those 70,000 merchants per state. I don't know how many you can go out and see today, but
so
I think you land a bunch.
If I can ask one more question here, can anybody know exactly which? As of right now, is it only the X520s? Do you guys know if PAX or any other terminals going to be supported?
Amelia, my understanding is PAX will not be supported at all on Omaha.
Okay.
That's what we've been told in the past. That was not on the list of EMV terminals. So right now what I would expect is all of your first data terminals are going to have the ability to either with the 130s having it internal or adding a pin pad to them, and then the VX520s. Hypercoms are gone. Basically what you're looking at is a full replacement of just about everything that's out there, or having to add a pin pad to it. So you've asked about the PAX 2 or 3 times, and everything that we see coming across does not have them as having files built for them. So, at this time, if you have to do replacements, I would recommend doing the 130s. They're going to be the easiest to work with. Or Clover Minis.
Or the Clover Mini. Yep.
Yeah, Clover Mini. And that what a great opportunity again, and I think we talked about this before, especially if your merchants need to upgrade their equipment. If they need to upgrade their equipment, which obviously 70% do, without question, I can't think of too many scenarios where they're getting a terminal that I wouldn't provide them with the Clover Mini. That would be the way to go. Because understand, a lot of these merchants, and I just dealt with one of my own merchants last week, one of my accountant, and they have no idea what the new EMV terminal is supposed to look like. For all the merchant knows, that's what all the new EMV terminals look like is the Clover Mini. So it's a great opportunity to introduce a new product, and they don't necessarily they can use it as a standalone terminal today, and you can upgrade it later where they can use it for other benefits that come along with that. And price-wise, it's right in line. So I would strongly recommend going that way because it gives you opportunity later.
And they can lease it, right? And you can make some money off that.
Absolutely. Leasing is the option I would go with first, always, 100% of the time.
Then on the webinars.
Well, yeah, right. So
Chad,
any other questions? Go ahead.
Chad, there's some merchant that using the new Ingenico out there. Do we build files for Ingenicos?
Yes, and I would work with our support department here because some of them we have downloaded some of them, yes, and I know that there's different tracks and different models of them, but I would call in and work with our support team here because they'll be able to tell you which ones we can build files for and which ones we can't.
I think
so. So did you guys say that the FDs are ready for download with the EMV?
Amy, you were speaking to that earlier.
They are not.
Speaking to the 520s. So we've just put in the
X520 is the only one right now.
Right.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. Excellent. Cool. Anything else on EMV? I think we kind of covered it all, didn't we? No? Okay.
I think so.
I think so. And again, because it is a big movement, I mean, things will, we just got to work through it. And that's what we'll do. And we're very attentive, and it sounds like you guys are too, to making sure that the merchant's on track. What are some other hurdles that you guys are running over out there today? I mean, this is the prime time of year. We see more activity this time of year than than most. So, what are some things you guys are running into that you're struggling with?
Shooting my office equipment's in storage, so I've got like a bare bones, mash office going on until I get my wife and I get a permanent place where I can set up everything and whatnot. So it's kind of off the cuff, just some maybe a merchant here in Noble as I glide out of this place, but that's about it. Stillwater up one still up there.
Right, and I know we're working Arthur's deal, but this and again, and I know we talk about it every week, and we have to touch base on it because obviously sales is based on solid rapport. The merchant account merchant tune-up sheet is out there to give you some structure. And one of the things that we do internally, and we really like to stress to our folks on the outside, is you really have to be kind of a master of follow-up. When you meet a merchant the first time, one of two things are going to transpire: it's either yes, let's move forward today, or not right now. So please make sure you're using some sort of system. We use Connect here. I recommend everyone use Connect because it's intuitive to the way that we do it. It's Rome wasn't built in a day kind of thing. But it's very important that, when we do get with a merchant, we want to maximize your profitability on it while maintaining the best deal we can for the merchant, because it takes those upfront comms, those leases, those, selling equipment and the conversion bonus by maintaining a lot of margin to fund your growth, to fund you while you're building that portfolio and you get that residual base. So, and please, as you're running into things, we give you what we think you need, what we see and what we know works and what's the best. But there's things that you're running into that you might be struggling with that, let us know what you want to cover in these calls. Tomorrow we're doing a case study. We'll have a case study call at noon tomorrow, especially if you're new, haven't seen a lot of deals. Make sure you come to the case study call because it really helps you see how deals dovetail together. So make sure you do that. But if there aren't any hurdles that want to be discussed, the best thing we can do with our time now is go out and put pressure on it. So is there anything else that you guys want to cover today?
Chuck,
go ahead.
I've got one question.
Yeah,
I have sold a mini to a optometry practice in Georgia. It was over a week ago, and they changed the rules on verbal verification and so forth. But I haven't got paid for that thing yet. It's a lease.
It's a lease deal.
I'll check that this morning, Tam, and I'll get a hold of you as soon as we're done off the call. Okay? I'm not sure, but I'll look into it right away. Yep.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, we definitely want to get those, as Cam mentioned, we want to get them burbled right away. So if understand that process, the merchant, the funding company needs to know that the merchant understands and they have it and it's working. So we'll make sure on those that happens. Definitely got to get paid on those right away. All right, anything else, guys? All right, you know what? It's kind of like the lumber won't move itself. Someone's got to move it. So I guess the deals won't write themselves. We got to get out there. We got to do what we know is right. Follow the process. Follow the system. Tomorrow again, noon Central Time, we'll have the case study call. So good luck out there today. We'll see a lot of you guys tomorrow, and then see a lot of you guys next week.